Yes, my people, welcome to another episode of the Realist Debates with myself, the Realist J.
This is Lengman Joseph from Around the Ways, aka Joey Leng, aka Just Joey.
And this is Deneo.
The biggest name.
No long thing.
Yes. Welcome again to the show, my brother.
No, thanks for having me, man.
We're happy to have you for sure. And on today's show, we're actually going to be talking about accountability.
Yeah, my girl says, like, she was talking today. She was like, oh, yes, I don't want to hear this show. I talk about accountability all the time.
Wait, she might be referring to it like, yo, you said that on the show. You're moving like this. So, yeah.
No, anytime we have like a certain situations and she's upset, sometimes it's not my fault. You're just upset because of your feelings. I haven't done anything wrong. So you got to take accountability for that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously, a lot of the time it's my fault, but sometimes, you know.
Well, starting from there then, I mean, what does accountability mean to you then? What's your breakdown of it or interpretation, shall we say?
Being aware of your actions, being aware of the consequences of your actions, and then accepting the consequences, whether they're good or bad.
Okay. Fair enough. Joey, what would you say?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, to be honest. Just looking at your role in a situation, whatever it is, and acting appropriately on that. So there's no point saying, for example, like, yeah, that was my bad. And then you don't do anything to try and rectify it or anything like that. So it's first acknowledging what you've done in a situation. And then on top of that, kind of making kind of strides to try and correct it as well.
Fair enough. Okay. For me, yeah, it's pretty much the same as what you guys said, is literally taking ownership for your actions, basically. So yeah, that's my interpretation. But yeah, I mean, moving forward though, what would you say is a situation? When was the last time you actually said to yourself, I'm accountable for this?
All the time. All of the time. Like,
it happened today.
If someone moves to you, let's say someone tries to rob you, you end up beating up that person. They feel a way about it. They come to move to you again with a couple of guys. You got to take account because you didn't have to move up the brer. And as much as you was doing the right thing by defending yourself, there's still accountability within that action to decide if I'm going to defend myself, it's going to bring some level of issues towards my way. Okay. But then if you don't defend yourself and they constantly terrorize you, you got to take accountability for that actions. So sometimes accountability isn't a good or bad thing. It's just being aware of what consequences may happen and then taking that seriously. It's like, okay, cool. If I'm going to, like, maybe I shouldn't have been in that situation, in that area at the time, or if these guys are going to try it, maybe I should be prepared to go a bit further. Like, there's just it's just, sometimes accountability isn't so grey. Yeah. It's not black and white. Yeah. Sometimes, or say, like, for instance, your child does something that warrants a fearful reaction. Like, they've done something that you're like, do you know what? If I let this carry on, this is going to hurt this person. So I'm going to have to play the bad guy. And being accountable for that is, for a period of time, maybe a year, 2 years, your kids are going to hate you. Okay. But you have to be that person to help them not go down a certain road.
And help their development as
well.
Like,
I had a friend, who he would have been a gangster. He would have been a roadman, right? In secondary school, he was beating everyone up. He was like older than me, but I spoke to his mum. And when he left, I think when he got expelled from school, she just grounded him for 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, he went. He had to like go. That. He got to another school. I don't know if he went college. He went like sixth form. He had to come straight home. And then the guy that I grew up with, like I in our group of friends, because he was like 4 or 5 years older than me, so they knew him from then. But I know him in his new state, and in his new state, he is not violent at all. He's like a normal civilian. And it's like the mum, like at some point, the mum was probably hated by her son.
for what she had to do to change his life.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, okay, it had to be done.
Yeah. Because for example, I even know some kids that I mentor to kind of stop those outside influences.
Yeah.
Like their parents have taken their phone and they've not had a phone for like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, straight from school, like kind of your friend that you knew, you have to come straight home to try and stop them from kind of veering away to like different avenues that they shouldn't be going down.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be done.
So that kind of leads on to something else that I wanted to discuss is like, do you think you can be held accountable for someone else's actions? So, all right, I'll give you an example now. If you got, me personally, I don't have any youths yet, but if I had a bad mind youth just running around the place causing bare havoc, obviously the youth has some accountability for himself to conduct himself in a way that should be good and proper. But me as the parent, I feel that I have the most accountability because I've raised that child to be or become what it has. So yeah, do you feel you can be held accountable in a way for someone else's actions? And this ain't even just the adult kid stage. Like let's bring it to grown-ups. We've all got that friend where you might think, right, he's done something a bit mad. Like, should I question him or like, does it bring my integrity into play? Like, if someone sees him doing something higgy, if you hang around with that person, does it then associate you? Are you guilty by association? You get what I'm saying?
I think with the kids one, it's complicated because it's kind of like you have to kind of work out, is this who my kid is? Or have I created an environment that allows this child to be like this and I just haven't managed the environment right?
Right.
If your child is like that, then you can't really be accountable for their actions. You just have to, as a parent, try to make your children aware of the consequences of their actions. But at some point, they're going to become an adult and they're going to make up their own mind. So all you can do at that point, if it's not you and that's actually who they were always going to be, you have to do your best to show them right from wrong.
So if that kid then, if you feel that you've taught your kid to a certain standard, and your kid still goes and does something wrong, do you still feel in some way accountable for what they've done? Do you feel like you've not done enough?
I think for me, because my parents were harsh with me, there's a level of me that is willing to go there with my children. If I see that they're doing something,
I don't know why I felt shook for a second. Like, yo, I don't want to be his you know.
It sounded like you're crossing lines.
I think if my son slapped, pushed, or hit like my wife, I wouldn't even be angry about it. I would have to. He would have to get dealt with, and I'd detach my emotions from it. That would have to happen.
Okay, and
after that, I'd still have to love him, and I'd still have to explain to him why it was wrong. Maybe he didn't like. There needs to be a level of respect there. If my children come home and I find out that they're bullying other kids, I wouldn't really put my hands on them, but I let them know I'm disappointed with them. Our relationship might change from that. Like I can't be.
But would you feel accountable to a certain extent for that?
Part of me, the bullying thing, definitely, I'd be like, what did I do? Like, and then I'd speak to my wife about it. It's like, do I treat my kids like that for them to treat other kids like that? Or is it just that's who they are kind of thing? But I do think with children, you as a parent have to determine whether, do you know what, that's my kid. And then once you work it out, because if it's not your kid and it's then you can change up the situation a little bit. But if it is your kid, like my friend, you might have to be draconian with that child. And at the beginning, they may not, like I never understood why my parents were harsh with me. Now I've gotten older and I understand my temperament. Now I understand what I must have been like as a child. Like, so my parents were probably worried that I might have gone down a certain route and my dad was harsher with me than my sister. But now I'm older, I kind of, some things I kind of understand.
Okay. What are you saying? you think you
can? It's a tricky one, because ultimately, as a parent, your kids are an extension of you and what your values are. But at the same time, we know that kids growing up, they don't get all their values from their parents because you don't spend all your time with them. They're out there with their friends. They're out there with teachers, this, that, and the other.
Older cousins.
Yeah,
and
all of that.
Sorts.
Kind of extended family. So certain things can seep in. So for example, if I found out that my son, my hypothetical son, I should say, if I find out, for example, I get a call from the teacher and they're saying he's out here hitting girls. I know he didn't get that from me. Where's he got that from?
So then the accountability in that sense kind of shifts from
So it's not shifted because still he's a representation of me.
Of you,
it's my job as a father to correct that and also find out, where has he been getting this demonstration of how you respond to certain situations from? But it's tricky.
I remember, because even like, say for instance, like I remember one time I went to my dad's workplace. This was when I was younger, and there was this guy there, and he was a bit of a Jack the lad, like, and he was trying to get me to swear in front of my dad, like, and I could see that my dad was like, "It's cool, it's minor," but for me, it didn't feel. It's like I'm not swearing in front of my dad, and the guy was proper pushing, and I didn't swear. I didn't do nothing. I was just like, nah, I'm not really on it. Yeah. And then when the guy left, my dad was like, you did well. Like, I'm glad you didn't curb under the pressure. I wouldn't have been, you guys were joking and I brought you in this environment of adults. So I'm going to let you indulge in certain things, but I'm proud that you didn't.
Bow down and...
Yeah, because he was on me. And in my head, I was just like...
Calm down.
Yeah, like, and then like even things now, like... one time I was in Cricklewood and I was in one of the burger shops and one of my dad's workmates came up to speak to me and they were cool. We've always said hello. And then he was just like, do you know what? Why is your dad so aggy? And I had to tell him like, listen, don't talk to me about my dad like that.
Why wouldn't you take it out with your dad?
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, me as his son, if for someone to talk about my father like that and I don't do nothing about it, I will take accountability. And I've gripped man up for my dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, because my dad's the type of person that he wouldn't hit any kids. I remember one time there was this kid that was like bothering him and he'd come home angry every day and I'd have to deal with it. But I didn't like the fact that he was upset. So I just went to his workplace and I just sat there all day. When the kid came, I just took him in the back of the bus and gripped him up. And I was like, listen.
You took accountability for that situation.
Yeah, I was just like, this is my family. I'm not having this. Especially you're coming home and you're taking it out on us a lot as well. Like, it's kind of like this is affecting you, but it's also affecting us.
Us as well, yeah.
So there's two things I'm upset about. So I just took him to the back of the bus garage. This was all in Cricklewood. And I just gripped him up.
Deleted the situation.
Yeah, sit quickly.
Rubbed it out.
Yeah, and I feel like the accountability in that situation is protect your family, innit? Like dad couldn't protect himself because if he'd have moved to that kid, he might have called the authorities.
And it's bare repercussions.
Whereas...
So he took accountability to say, yeah, if I did harm this kid, I'm in big trouble.
And then it's not like my family was rich. My mum was like a seamstress and my dad's a bus driver. If one of those, like we're working class / poor, innit?
If one of them incomes...
Listen, let me tell you something. And that situation's happened. That's why we moved to Ghana. Yeah. There was a period in my life where we were poor, bruv. We had to go to Ghana to survive.
Back to the motherland.
Yeah, and that's my mum taking accountability. She's like,
if we stay
there were certain situations that have happened. Like, mum couldn't look after me and my sister by herself. She had to take us to Ghana. We had to live with our uncle for like a year. Her to get herself back on her feet. Dad had to get himself back on... Came back and then
started again.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like if my dad had hit that kid, he would have been embarrassed. Like, I've done this out of anger. Now I'm in prison. I might lose my job. It'd be hard for me to get another job. We're not struggling because my parents weren't frugal with their money. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't frugal with their money, but we weren't rich either. No, we was working class. we could have been, if my parents weren't accountable for how they manage their money, we would have been poor.
There you go.
So there's a lot of, like, in my life, there's a lot of things that's accountable for. Like, say, if I buy something straight away, my mum always cusses me because my mum, everyone looks at her like, oh, you got flashy things. My mum doesn't buy willy-nilly. She'll see something. Like, I remember we had like a TV that was like, I can't remember how much it was, but it was expensive. And everyone was dissing her, like, and then she said, Ian, but I saved up for 3 years for this. Do you get it? And then I was like, for real? Then I started switching on everyone else. I'm like, how dare you lot? Like, she was upset because everyone was just judging, like, how could you just No, for 3 years, every month, she put down a little money to get what she wanted.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
To
Like,
get to a goal.
so I feel like accountability, now thinking about it, accountability has affected my whole life. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, that's a good point to move on from.
Yeah.
What was I? What else did I want to talk? Do you think actually? What is it? Do you feel comfortable checking someone? So, for example, if you do see some out of pocket behavior, do you feel comfortable checking someone else's accountability? For example, so if you've got a friend, for example, me. Yeah, if I done something that you didn't like, would you feel comfortable saying, yo, I didn't like that. I need to hold you accountable for your behavior?
No, I wouldn't feel comfortable, but I don't think feeling comfortable is your reason for not doing something. And as well, kind of like, I don't like checking people disrespectfully because it's kind of like, say like you might have done something, you're not aware of it, yeah? Then I come at you, you're not going to think, what have I done wrong? You're going to think, who the fuck are you talking to? Do you know what I mean?
There's a way, obviously.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, but like a lot of people don't understand this. Like sometimes, like, why did you do that? Or like, do you know what? I felt a way about this. Can we talk about it? And then see how the person moves.
And that's precisely what I'm talking about, is like, because some people will just let it slide. Me personally, I can't let shit behavior slide. So I will check you. You know, I will check whatever. And I expect the same back. So I'm not walking around like I'm perfect.
But some people's actions, I'll just look and judge and be like, I'm not even checking you. I'm just going to distance myself.
And that might be because you just know that person is like that. Do you understand?
There's certain things you see, yeah? You only need to see it once to know what they're on.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, there's some people you can see them do something and you can just tell there's no point me even talking to you about it. I can tell you won't even change. That's just in your character. Do you know what? Let me just keep it moving.
And then there's other situations where it's like, I know him. I know that's a bit out of character for my man.
Yes.
So do you know what? I'm going to have a chat with my man about it. Maybe not there and then. Obviously, there's a time and a place. But if you feel that one of your brethren's behavior is out of character, he might at the time not see it as out of character behavior. Do you get what I'm saying? So it might go over his head and he might just carry on with his day thinking everything's normal. Whereas in your head, you're thinking, rah, that's not you. Like, that's something that we definitely need to talk about.
And then you don't even know what you're doing. Like, I've gone through a situation recently. One of my best friends, we had a quite an honest conversation with each other, and there was certain things I was doing I wasn't aware was affecting him.
Okay.
So now he's told me, I'm like, cool, these things ain't going to change overnight, but I'm making an effort to change those things. Which has made us closer. So he knows he can, whatever we do, if we're arguing today, you can always come to me and I'm always going to want your best interest. And it's like, I feel like sometimes you don't have to stand up to everyone because some people, right, they want conflict. They want you to bad them up so they can say, you know what, they don't want to be better.
Because that's just what they've got.
That's just what they've got. And they don't rate you like that. They might like being around you because you give them a certain level of, I don't know, kudos or props or stuff like that. But you personally, they don't respect you like that. And some people, and I feel like deep down, I know the people, if I've had problems with someone and it's gone too far, I always knew it would go too far. It's just that I checked for them for their character, and over time, I just brushed the other bits to the side.
Boy, I've been there still.
Definitely,
I've
most
been
definitely.
there. But like also coming on from that, like me personally as well, when it comes to holding myself accountable, that's what I look at the most as well, because I go through situations, we all do every day, and it's like, I want to go off at someone sometimes, but then I have to rein it in and look at myself and see what I've done in the situation and say, look, you did that shit too. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like...
But I've seen you in situations where you haven't done anything wrong and someone's tried it and you still held composure.
That's true. And again, that's... So remember that situation that we went through? Probably the same one on the high road or whatever.
Okay, boom. You know what? Even that situation there, like, I didn't like the way you was treated. And the fact that you was holding so much composure, it made me stop doing business with that person. Because I checked them. I took them to the side about a week afterwards. And I was like, listen, can you explain to me what happened that day? Because you attacked my friend. He didn't physically attack you. But
let's get that. I did not get...
No, but he didn't physically. But he was aggressive for no reason, like out of nowhere. And I was like, maybe you was having a bad day. Not you, him. I was like, maybe you was having a bad day and you was like, you didn't understand where my friend was coming from. But I know my friend. He wasn't coming at you any sort of way.
Just a bit of context as well. I asked a guy a question who just happens to be a gym owner. Obviously, gyms were closed and that. Me and D were just walking down the road
Just
or
attacked
whatever.
my man for no reason.
And the way my man responded to me was very anti.
Okay.
Like too close. Like it was too...
Almost got up in my face. And I just asked an innocent question. So from there, obviously, you know what I'm like. I wanted to go off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when we were on, it's literally Cricklewood Broadway.
Okay.
So in my mind, I've got to hold a certain sense of accountability. I'm saying, yo, I'm with D right now. So if I go off, and please come, etc., etc. Do you remember?
It'll be him because it'll be some old.
I'm saying I'm gonna look
old
like
white
the aggressor.
guy. He's gonna be like, well,
I'm on the road with Deneo, and police are gonna. He's profile. Do you get
He's
what I'm
got
saying?
clients
So
around.
So the truth of the matter is, we walked home, bro. After he went inside, I went inside. I got my jacket and I went straight back up. I was prowling the streets looking for my man. I was saying, God, let me see this guy.
Like that.
I was like, yeah,
And I'm
DD,
glad he did it.
safe.
Whoa.
Went inside. I span back outside so fast. I was looking, bro.
I'm glad nothing happened because he was the way the guy, even me, I was uncomfortable. I was just like, rah. So anyway, I took the guy to the side. I said, look, can you explain to me what happened? And he still was like, yeah, but your friend was coming at me. I was like, no, he wasn't.
So he took no responsibility.
No. And this guy's older. He must have been in his 50s. So he's talking to me now. And I'm just like, listen, like at the end of the day, I'm not changing my thing. I said, all right, cool. I'm going to cancel my subscription at this gym then.
Yeah.
Please take me to the thing. And then, because what was happening as well was that for 4 months, I was paying membership when it was on lockdown.
Closed. Yeah.
And I was going to tell him, don't take the money, don't give me back my money. It's fine, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And he was saying to me in the gym, like, I know you're a nice guy and I respect you and you've always shown respect to me, but your friend. And I was like, this is why I'm coming to you to say to you, listen, you was in the wrong. Like, because if you're not going to take accountability for that, I'm not having someone just abuse my friend like that. Are you mad?
Again, you know? I'm slightly mad over here again. Just reliving it in my mind.
So I basically said, okay, cool. I need my money back from the gym. And how do I cancel my thing?
Yeah.
And he was just like, rah. And then we walked to the desk.
But then did his energy change after you said that?
Well, what's he going to say? Because at the end of the day, it's like you want to hold corner. And the thing is as well, like those are the instances where I will say, I am Deneo. If I kick up a stink about it, you're in the wrong. And this is going to put a big light on you. So let's just deal with this calmly.
I was just more at the angle like, yo, if I broke my man up now and feds get called and I get nicked,
he's going to be the one that gets moved to.
I'm with D. So now I'm going to put my man in a situation. So I literally had to walk home like steam coming off my head, bro.
And then imagine, if say they get into a scuff I'm going to grab the older guy because really what you're supposed to do is the weakest person, you move out of the way.
Yeah.
You don't grab the strongest person
Bro,
because
he was moving like the stronger man.
he wasn't.
He got up in my face.
I know,
bro.
but
What?
he
Like,
would have been. He doesn't even train in his own gym.
Like that.
Close, fam.
Yeah, he doesn't even train in his own gym.
That's
so.
poor.
What you're really supposed to do in those situations is grab the weak person and take them out of the way. Right now, if I'd have done that, he's not going to say, "Well,
Then it
Ian
looks
was
like we're
trying to
rushing him.
separate the thing." He looked, yeah.
It looks like we're
and that's
rushing
the
him.
thing.
Trying to hold man in that.
And that's what I didn't like. It's kind of like you put both of us in a really
Awkward situation.
and not taking no accountability for it. And
At
I've
all.
given my money to you. And my friend walked away. My friend's young and nippy. You would not have won that fight. Do you know what I mean?
At all.
But again, like accountability, like someone else might have said, "No, man, you should have did it. You're a pussy off of that."
But
then another man, like say me, because I had to say to Jay, I respect you for holding your corner and just dealing with it another way. And to be honest, I'm glad that he went home and then went back out rather than just dealing with it there and then. And I'm glad the guy wasn't around. Because like I said, it could have turned somewhere else. Because he was blatantly looking for someone to
just go off at.
Yes.
yeah, I just had to go home and burn one after I came back and couldn't find him still.
But
So
that's what I'm
take
saying.
it
Like
home.
accountability is not so black and white because sometimes it's like taking accountability for your actions could hurt your pride or hurt your ego.
It's true.
Very.
And it goes either way as well, because in that situation, although I took accountability for it, my pride was mash up, fam. Like, in my eyes, it looked like I got badded up on the high road, you get what I'm saying, by some guy that it just shouldn't have happened. And to be fair, obviously, without you there, that situation would have been very different. So, although I took accountability and what I feel I did the right thing, my ego was on the floor because I felt like my man violated me.
Yeah.
So although I took accountability and I feel that I done the right thing, I still took a hit in a way because my ego was just shattered. I felt like, nah, like when I see this guy, it's literally an on-site
And then that's when it gets dangerous.
and that's when it goes further because now
Ego's talking.
my ego's talking. Days have gone by now. We're sitting here months later and I'm still vexed at him and I ain't seen him since.
as well.
And the thing is, I don't know how I'll act when I do see him.
Your ego's just saying, yo, well, go on.
So even now, months later, whenever I do see him, I got to take accountability again for how I act. Am I going to be the bigger man now, and just move on? Or am I going to pick my ego up and use that and be like, yo, my man violated. I can't let that slide, which is in my character as well. So, yeah, being held accountable or holding yourself accountable also has some conflict with it because when you want to let it go, and I don't want to be accountable, I just want to mash him up. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? I just want to.
Do you know what the worst thing is as
Get
well?
rid of all accountability. I just want to block up his ass.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like you said, it's not black and white.
It's not. And you know what the worst thing as well? Say you see him again, whether it's 1 or 2 months' time, and even you're still seething, my man might not even remember. you anymore. Like to him, it wasn't even that.
Bro, and that makes it even worse. Because to me, I'm carrying it for months. Like, we're telling me, but you forgot who I am.
But that's why
your chest was high that day.
Bro, that's why. See, when you was going back to like other people's, like, are you accountable for other people's things? Like, sorry, man, Gandhi, my bro.
Got me in that. Nah, you can't have forgot. Yeah, sorry.
No, cool. Because like even like for when like being accountable for someone else, sometimes as well, bruv, confronting a situation damages you more than it helps the situation. Sometimes walking away is less painful than dealing with it. And that within itself is the conundrum. Because you got to work out, is this pain worth it? And at this age, you should be able to work out, like, if I walk away, these are going to be my damages. If I fight it, these are going to be my damages. Which one benefits me the most? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Because like it's like I'm still angry at certain things that have happened a year ago. I still think about beating up people in my head.
Bro, I beat up people in my head every day.
Yeah.
Literally, it don't go that far. I don't take it to violence, but in my head, I mash up people daily.
All day.
Fam.
But it's like I'm holding on to that energy and I shouldn't be. So I've learned to kind of like the people I have around me, I've taken accountability for my space.
Yeah.
And if I don't want you around, I'd rather just tell you.
Just remove it.
Yeah, because I'm a man, you're a man. I don't think you're safe to be around. If you've come to walk up to me, say hello and go away. And I will tell you that. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, but you know what type of person you are. I know what type of person you are. I'm not being rude. I have every right to. If you want to take it further because you feel embarrassed, fine. You have to take accountabilities for what happens after that. But like me, I'm very like, I know who I want in my space and I know who I don't want in my space. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know how I feel and how my mental health is. And I've just learned like there's people out there, they just care about what they want. They don't care about what you want. They care about what they want. It's not even the majority. It's like everybody's like that to someone. There's someone out there that we're like that to.
And
like
there's nothing wrong with that as
exactly.
well. You know?
So it's kind of like at this age, I'm like, nah, I ain't got time to be like being political and all that because I haven't got this. To be honest, I haven't got the social skills to be political anyway. So
just cut it all out.
Yeah, that's one of my strengths. It's a weakness in something, but the fact that I'm so blunt, it's one of my strengths. It's what's protected me. Because what comes out of my mouth can be so harsh. People just think, let's just leave him alone. Because I don't like how I feel when he talks to me. Like, but in my head, I'm like, I don't like how I feel when you're around. So
that's fair. Boy. Okay. Joey, anything else you want to dash onto accountability?
Yeah, one thing that you touched on about talking about how it can be draining sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there's certain people you can't check sometimes on their actions, and it is better to just move away from them.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, years back, I was at a house party. Little, what do you call them? Is it the marquee things in the garden?
Oh yeah. The tent thing.
Yeah, the tent thing was in one of those like little garden party thing. So at some point, some girls got in yacked, way drunk, and she's sitting on some chair, and she's just thrown up everywhere. But she's not thrown up on the chair. She's only thrown up like behind it or something like that.
Yeah.
Then she's been carted off somewhere. She's gone home. So then now everyone's obviously avoiding that chair. It's like, well, she puked on it. So everyone's avoiding it now.
It's a sicky chair.
Yeah, it's a sicky chair. So now my boy, he comes later on.
Ah, shit.
Right? So he don't know nothing about this. All he knows is, there's a free chair, yeah? Cool, listen, let me plonk my ass down, yeah? Listen, now everyone's just like, what? Pukey. Everyone's calling him Pukey now. So he's just there
knowledge
like...
player in that.
Pukey. Call him like Pukey, cuz. So now man's just there like, yo, what's this about? So then I don't want to say anything.
Why?
Because I know his temperament. Because I know if I tell him like, yeah, listen, this is XYZ, this is what happened, he's gonna start going off. But eventually I do tell him because he's like, nah, what is this banter about? Because everyone is like giving it to him. You know how mandem can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Because I kind of brought him into that situation where I knew more of them man than he did. But where we're all mandems, it's all blessed. So now he knows what it's about. So now beforehand, where he's hearing him say, oh yeah, Pukey. Beforehand, he's just like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah. Now he's like,
the next person to say that.
Man, they're calling me Pukey. And the worst thing is there was no puke on the chair. So there's nothing technically wrong with the chair.
It's tarnished.
Just an action has happened on the chair. That has tarnished the chair, innit? Just what I should say. So he wasn't sitting on puke all this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at some point, what's happened now? So I think one of the mandem is kind of in a jokey way. He's kind of been like, pukey. So then,
What, Pokemon and that?
yeah, like, but in a joke, but to them. But so to them, they're all thinking, like we're still kind of bantering. But to him now, he's just pissed off. When I tell you, I saw the hand get crook up like that.
He
now,
got the
and just got
arresting.
dashed away, just thrown away. So now I'm thinking,
Oh, it's gonna go somewhere.
I have some choices to make now in the next 5 to 10 minutes because this right here is going to kick off now. Instantly, it's starting to kick off. Now the guy that was obviously doing all of this, poking him, he now feels away. But he's not looking at what he was doing to my man all this time. So all this time, they're now trying to kick something off. But I'm trying to say, listen, there's a joke and there's getting onto man and drawing man out. You drew the joke out for about 15 to half an hour.
It's too long, yeah.
Like, it's too long. And even in between, I'm telling you, man, like, yo, like, allow it, innit? I know there ain't no
He's
puke
not
on
the
the chair.
guy as well.
Like, allow it. And because I know how he's going to react,
Yeah.
you know? But no one don't want to hear none of that. They don't care about what they done in the situation. All they care about is man's finger got crooked up. You get me? So now it's all spilling out now. And it's getting mad. It's getting mad. So I'm kind of telling my guy, like, yo, just kind of,
let's just go.
I can hold them for so long. Just get me to dip out. He's like, nah. He's like, nah, them man were taking a piss. I'm like, yeah, I hear that.
Man turned Hercules.
Like, I hear that, but like, yo, he's like, nah. I'm here, innit? Nah, I'm here. So I think,
you know what them words mean.
Yeah, so like, you know what them words mean now. So I'm thinking, I gotta somehow make that mob not want to get onto him. I gotta try and diffuse the situation now.
Yeah.
Right. So the guy whose finger got all crooked up, he's now going mad. So he's trying to get onto him, but I'm holding him now. And he's like, let me go. I'm like, listen, I ain't letting you go until you calm down. I'm gonna keep talking in your ear until you calm down. So I'm literally bear hugging him like this. And I'm talking to him, calming him down. And I'm like, listen, like, you know you done some shit in this situation, didn't And he's just like, yeah, but I was joking though. It's like, come on, you weren't joking for half an hour. You knew what you was doing. You was trying to press buttons. It's like, yeah, it's calm down. So I'm looking at him because we're bear hugging him. We're looking at each other eye to eye. And he's calming down. And I see alarm on his face. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with him? And out of nowhere, my guy ran behind me and just banged him in the face. And then just stood there and was just like, you know what?
I
like,
didn't even see that coming.
I just accept it. I just accept the consequences. I just got like, yeah, he held a few licks still. But then what that taught me is, one, I had to take some accountability because
You didn't tell your brethren.
the thing is, not even that I brought him there because it should have been a blessed situation. It's more the fact of, did I really need to tell man about the backstory of the pukey chair? Knowing what man's like, man should have just been like, listen, it's nothing in it. I don't know what happened. So I don't know. Because at some point it would have probably died out, you know? But then also, what it made me realize is, forget all of that. He's my brethren. Them man are my brethren. They know him. They know him through me. And man still kind of acted that way. So from there, it made me think, I might have to move that to the side. Because I'm looking at what I done in that situation, but a lot of that was still foul in a way. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because he didn't really need to grip up the man's arm. He could have just said, bruv, joke's over now.
Boy, well, everyone reacts how they react, you know. But what I would know,
it's been going on for a little
time.
while as well.
And you know what I would say? I get that because it's long when there are bare man that are just bantering you. Like at the beginning, it's cool.
But you just want someone
but to a degree, and I think what I should add to context, he did kind of warn man. Like, listen, like, if you guys carry enough, it's getting enough. And they did carry on.
Then he done the right thing.
Yeah.
Then he done the right thing.
So then it wasn't straight bam violence.
Your friend done the right thing.
Yeah. So I get why he reacted the way he did, you know?
Because I do think like you should warn him and like, look, stop. And if he carries on, listen, if you don't stop, I'm gonna move to you. You're clearly not listening to me, so there's another way we can do this. Please leave me alone. If you carry on, then
and I got brethrens like that where, you can laugh, you can joke, but then to them they'll get to a point like, I can't lie, I'm getting pissed off now. But at least you know, okay, cool. Man
I've hit that limit.
Man has to rein the jokes in.
Yeah,
I've hit my limit,
that's
my
with
quota.
everyone though, because it's kind of like What are you trying to crack a joke for? For everyone to laugh or for you to laugh at the person? Because like sometimes with certain friends, they'll crack a joke, yeah. It might sting a bit, but the joke's funny. We all laugh.
Yeah.
We're boys, innit? We're boys are supposed to. But there's some people like they've got their own insecurities and fuckeries and whatever's going on, and that teasing someone else makes them feel better about themselves because they feel shit, do you know what I mean? About themselves for other situations.
And they have to take accountability for that.
It's like no one asked you to feel shit for yourself. No, you need to work through that. You don't take out your insecurities on me because you feel a certain way.
And it's that real. Well, yeah, that's a good note to end on, people. Moral of the story is, people, be accountable for your blood clot actions. Anything else?
Just that, man.
Well, I've been the realist one, Jay.
Lengman Joseph from Around the Ways, aka Joey Leng, aka Just Joey.
And I'm Deneo. My mother calls me Ian.
They know who you are. Buff and blow.
Bless, love.